Hey guys, what's going on? Thank you so much for watching today. We are going to jump in and talk about another species overview. This one's going to be the Pyroraptor that is in the new Biosyn expansion pack for Jurassic World Evolution 2. I'm a couple days late, but I'm really excited to talk about this one because these guys are gorgeous. They're so pretty. They're so colorful. Let's go ahead and click on one. That way we can follow it around as we start to talk about it. Well, and I click on it. This is the movie coloring. So let's go to a pretty coloring. There we go. They have all different colors for their skin patterns. I've clicked on two blank ones. There we go. Nice bright yellow guy fighting over some food. So let's go ahead and talk about these guys real quickly here. The Pyroraptor was a small-sized dromaeosaurid. I believe I said that right. Around 8 feet in general, around 2.5 meters long. From its small size, we can guess that the Pyroraptor was a ferocious, speedy predator and most likely hunted in packs, just like the Velociraptor. A distinctive sign of all dromaeosaurs, the Pyroraptor had a very narrow and long skull used for snatching up smaller prey or biting into flesh in a coordinated attack feature. Most sources point to the Pyroraptor having a downy coat of feathers across its body. That's why we can see here, this is our very first feathered dinosaur in the game. Gorgeous. I would have liked, the wings I think look fantastic, the tail looks fantastic, but I think on the body, if we could have gotten a little bit more individualized with the feathers, a little bit more detail, I think that would have made the whole thing kind of pop a little bit more, but overall not mad at this design, especially the coloration and the patterning on it. Absolutely love it. Let's see, as much as we theorize the strange possible looks of the dromaeosaurs, saurids, we can also assume, while our guesses of the Pyroraptor may be different, it may have looked strange by itself during its time in the late Cretaceous. The Pyroraptor was smaller than the more fabled Velociraptor, and many sources state that the Pyroraptor, however, was equally crafty. It might have had feathers, and most likely did. It probably leaped on the tops of smaller prey, but wouldn't have slashed into the sides of larger prey. Its prey might have consisted of many iguanodontids that lived in Europe during the late Cretaceous. So there you go, just a little bit about these guys. Like I said, I am in love with their colors. Like, look at this. These guys look like little parrots with this blue, this green. You guys are getting to see them fight again. We'll go over that animation later in the video, but I think they are fantastic. So if you guys have watched the other species overviews, you guys know how this is going to work. We're going to jump in and look at all of their animations, starting with the exit ones. I'm going to let it roll, and then we'll talk about the exit animations and then talk about the rest of them. So let's get started. So a pretty simple exit animation for these guys. It's not overly aggressive or overly dramatic, but what I like about it is that you can hear them chattering back and forth. There's a lot of communication between the Pyroraptors and them vocalizing and things. They kind of come out, and the two that it focuses on kind of look at each other, and then they have this little kind of like conversation, wave their arms around a little bit. So I think it's pretty cool, and it's a really good way to show off their colors. It's a little bit slower, so you get to kind of really look at them and look at their design and their feathers on their arms and things like that. I really like it. Let's go ahead and take a look at the exit animation, which is pretty much the exact same thing, but it's going to be for the 2022 coloration, the movie coloration, that red and white. So let's take a look at that. So exact same animation, they come out, they do the exact same chitter-chattering, conversation, socializing, wave their little arms around, but you can really see that movie coloration, the mostly red with the white highlights along the edge of the arm feathers, and then along the edges of the tail feathers, and then a little bit of highlight on the head kind of crown crest feathers as well. So yeah, overall a fan of this movie coloration, although I will say, to be honest, I really do like the other color variants a little bit better. This one, to me, is just a little boring comparative to all the bright colors and striking patterns that we get with the other colorations. But let's move away from exit animations and move more towards the individual animations for these guys, starting with a grooming animation. So when they're just kind of hanging around, they'll sometimes do a little preening of their feathers, scratching their little chest. So they'll do this every once in a while. They'll also lay down like this and do a little bit of preening, grooming, picking at, whatever you want to call it, their little tail feathers. So I really like those little ambient behaviors. It makes them feel a little more alive. Of course, they do take a nap. This one is pretty self-explanatory, not that exciting. They lay down on the ground and they take a nap. That's pretty much it. Of course, they drink water, a little drinking animation. They drink a little bit more like dogs, I would say. Like watching this, they kind of lap up the water a little bit quicker than others that I've seen, like other dinosaurs, but pretty cool. And then, of course, they do hunt goats, jumping on the backs of them, turning around and holding them down with their foot while they kind of break the goat's neck before taking bites out of them. This eating animation that you're going to see is pretty much exactly what the animation looks like when they're eating out of the meat feeder, which we'll see next. But they kind of take bites, and every other bite, they kind of throw their head back and wave their arms out a little bit as they kind of swallow the piece of meat. You'll see that again here with this green Pyroraptor taking bites off of the meat tray as well. So yeah, pretty much exact same animation, just one with a goat and one with the meat. We're gonna go to them eating together, because when they do eat together, they kind of fight over the meat, which I thought was kind of cool. So different animation if they're eating alone or eating together. And then social behaviors. This one is my favorite. So we'll see it again because it's one of my favorites. But one of them kind of sneaks up on the other one and startles it a little bit. So that one on the right kind of jumps back, flaps its arms, and they kind of have this little conversation, which I think is pretty cool. Next, talking about behaviors together, of course, they have a fighting animation if they get angry with one another. Pretty what I expected, I guess. I'm unaware, though, I didn't compare it to the Velociraptor, but I'm pretty sure this is really similar to exactly how they fight with one another, which makes sense, right? The Pyroraptors and the Velociraptors are going to have a really similar animation to one another. Of course, I had to release some homocephaly out for the Pyroraptors to get after, so here is their hunt/kill animation, pretty much exactly the same as the goat animation. And then, of course, they do pack hunt, so this poor little para is getting a whole bunch of Pyroraptors all over him and bringing him down to the ground. He gets up a couple times, but eventually he just can't do it. And that is one of the new variants, by the way, of that para, the movie variant that came out with the Biosyn expansion as well. But yeah, these guys have the pretty much exact same group hunt animation as the Velociraptors do, so nothing really new here. I did decide to let the Indoraptor out on the Pyroraptor just to see what would happen, and it has no chance. Poor little Pyroraptor jumps on the Indo's back, spins around a couple times, but the Indoraptor is able to grab it by the tail, whip it down, and then break its neck. So there is that. And then, of course, I had to let some Pyroraptors out on some people. This might just be my very favorite human kill animation. It's so cocky and so confident. So you can see here that the Pyroraptor will run up. I'll play it one more time. It'll run up, jump on the person's back, doesn't kill it right away, and then just kind of stands there for a second looking around like, I got you. No worries. You can't get away. I'm more powerful. And then goes in for the final kill. So I actually really do like that animation as well. But that is it for the Pyroraptor. Thank you guys so much for watching. This video is a couple days late, but I had so much fun making it, so I really do appreciate those of you that have made it this far. And if you did, leave a like down on the video below. It really does help me out. And while you're down there, make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss out on any future Jurassic World Evolution 2 content. But that is it for me. That's all I have to say. So until next time, I will talk at you guys in the next video. Bye!